The Tyranny of Structurelessness by Jo+Freeman, aka Jo+Freeman. The earliest version of this article was given as a talk at a conference called by the Southern Female Rights Union, held in Beulah, Mississippi in May 1970. It was written up for Notes from the Third Year, 1971, but the editors did not use it. It was then submitted to several movement publications, but only one asked permission to publish it. Others did so without permission. The first official place of publication was in Volume 2, Number 1 of The Second Wave, 1972. This early version in movement publications was authored by Jo+Freeman. Different versions were published in the Berkeley Journal of Sociology and Miss Magazine, authored by Jo+Freeman. This piece spread all over the world. Numerous people have edited, reprinted, cut, and translated "tyranny" for magazines, books, and websites, usually without the permission or knowledge of the author. The version below is a blend of the three cited here. During the years in which the women's liberation movement has been taking shape, a great emphasis has been placed on what are called leaderless, structureless groups as the main, if not sole, organizational form of the movement. The source of this idea was a natural reaction against the overstructured society in which most of us found ourselves, and the inevitable control this gave others over our lives, and the continual elitism of the left and similar groups among those who were supposedly fighting this overstructuredness. The idea of structurelessness, however, has moved from a healthy counter to those tendencies to becoming a goddess in its own right. The idea is as little examined as the term is much used, but it has become an intrinsic and unquestioned part of women's liberation ideology. For the early development of the movement, this did not much matter. It early defined its main goal and its main method as consciousness raising, and the structureless rap group was an excellent means to this end. The looseness and informality of it encouraged participation in discussion, and its often supportive atmosphere elicited personal insight. If nothing more concrete than personal insight ever resulted from these groups, that didn't much matter. Their purpose did not really extend beyond this. The basic problems didn't appear until individual rap groups exhausted the virtues of consciousness raising and decided they wanted to do something more specific. At this point, they usually floundered, because most groups were unwilling to change their structure when they changed their tasks. Women had thoroughly accepted the idea of structurelessness, without realizing the limitations of its uses. People would try to use the structureless group and the informal conference for purposes for which they were unsuitable, out of a blind belief that no other means could possibly be anything but oppressive. If the movement is to grow beyond these elementary stages of development, it will have to disabuse itself of some of its prejudices about organization and structure. There is nothing inherently bad about either of these. They can be, and often are, misused, but to reject them out of hand because they are misused is to deny ourselves the necessary tools to further development. We need to understand why structurelessness does not work. End of section.